Hey everybody, Drew Renolette here, Director of Student Ministries here at Call Prairie. I hope that you're all having a wonderful week. You're just truly enjoying your time that you have been having with your family. I hope your Christmas day was so amazing. I hope you got the gifts you wanted. I hope you got to spend the quality time with the family that you've been wanting to. Well, this week we are finishing our series, Merry Christmas to Me, so let's go ahead and jump in. I want to start off with one question. What is the hardest thing you've ever done? You know, for me, I think it would have to be moving here. Now, I say that, don't take that the wrong way. I love where I'm at here, and I'm so glad I am here. So excited to be here at Call Prairie, so excited to be in Kansas City with my family. But when I originally was going to move, it was so hard for me. Because at that point in my mind, I was leaving everything behind. My friends, my niece, just a lot of people that I wanted to be around with, the place I had known, the place I had grown up. It was my home. And I had to give it up because I knew it would be good for me. But that didn't mean it was easy. It was super hard to do. But eventually, after I gave it up, I see now that I'm here for a reason, and I'm thankful for that. As you know, all month we have been talking about how people have had to give things up. We've been going through this birth story of Christ and talking about each person in the story and how they've had to give something up. Like the first week we talked about how Mary and Joseph, how they had to give up their comfort during this Christmas season. We talked about the next week, we talked about the shepherds, how for them it was they had to give up their stories. Because let me tell you, it would be hard, and I think I'd want to keep that story to myself, how I met God before, when he was a baby. And last week, we talked about how the wise men gave up their worship, which was such an amazing thing. Well, that's the thing, though. They weren't the first to give something up. There was someone who gave something up before that. But before we talk about who that is, I want to talk about another character that is part of Jesus' birth story. Now, this isn't someone we typically see, and we don't ever see in the nativity scenes. And that's because it's someone who met Jesus 8 days later. This is a man by the name of Simeon. Now, Simeon, he's this guy, he's a Jewish man who is fully devoted to God. Now, at that point in time, a majority of Jewish people believed that someday that a Savior was going to be born, come back, save the world, he was going to be their Messiah, he was going to be their king. Simeon was one of those people, he believed that. But he believed it so much that God came to him and said, hey, Simeon, you're not going to die until the Messiah is born. Now, first off, let's think about that. I think that'd be super hard, especially if you got super old. You just be like, oh, I'm so tired. Can I just go? Well, let's look into Simeon's story now. So in Luke chapter 22 through 32, this is where we meet Simeon. Mary and Joseph, 8 days after the birth, are going to Jerusalem. They're taking their newborn son to the temple because back in that time, newborn baby boys had to be taken to the temple and purified, been given to God. It's how it was. It was the culture. Now, Simeon, he lived in Jerusalem, so he was there. But that day, God came to Simeon and said, hey, it's time to go to the temple. So Simeon did, he got up, went to the temple. Now, I don't know if God told Simeon why he was going to the temple or why he wasn't. But when Simeon got to the temple, he ran into Mary and Joseph. And he saw Jesus. And when Simeon saw Jesus, Simeon realized who he was. Simeon was a man who, when Jesus was 8 days old, he recognized who Jesus was. He realized that one day that baby would be the Savior of the world. He realized that that baby was hope for humanity. And lastly, he realized that that baby was God's gift to you and to me and to every person in this world. Now, let's get back to that where I said there was somebody else who had to give up something first. And we're going to focus on that last thing that Simeon realized, God's gift. Now, I don't think we really think about it enough. I know in our faith, it is because of this that we have faith. We understand who Jesus is. But we don't think about it this way. I don't think we do. I certainly don't. Jesus was God's gift to us. Now here, let's think about this. Before Jesus, you and I were destined to die. We're destined to have no hope. But God decided he loves us so much that he was going to give everything to us so that we could have a chance. Now, we don't always think about it. Think about how much God truly gave up that day. As I said, and I thought back, as I said, the hardest thing I've ever had to do was leave Washington to come here because I thought I was giving up everything. But the truth is, I wasn't giving up everything. There's no way in the world that I gave up everything. I took my belongings with me, my vehicle, everything I had, I took it with me. I had my stuff. But that day, God decided to get rid of everything he had. His own son, so that you and I could have a chance. Now, as you go and you remember this Christmas season, Christmas you had on Friday, and now this following weekend, I hope you take a minute and realize what was truly given up so that you and I could have a chance. That was Jesus, the Son of God. Everything. He was God's everything. But he gave him up for you and me. I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas. I'm sure some of you are still going through your Christmas opportunities and parties with family. I hope you're still having an joyous time with that. I hope if you have some Christmas meal leftovers, you're truly enjoying those. Again, I want to say Merry Christmas, and I hope to see each and every single one of you soon. Have a good day. God bless.